श्रीं श्रीमात्रे नमः। अगस्त्य उवाच अश्वाननमः बुद्धे सर्वशास्त्रविशारदा कथितं ललिता देव्याश्चरितं परमाद्भुतम्.
Agastya said, O horse-faced one, of great wisdom, well versed in all the Shastras, you have related the most wonderful history of Devi Lalita. Agastya derives his name from Aga, meaning a mountain, and Stya, meaning to fix. He is related at length in the Kashikanda, to which we refer the reader, horse-faced one, Hayagriva. The story is found in Devi Bhagavata. Once, being extremely tired with keeping awake in order to protect the sacrifices, etc., Lord Vishnu fell fast asleep, resting his head on his bow. Brahma, Rudra, and others, wishing to awaken him for some particular purpose, induced the white ants, Vamris, to bite through the bowstring, promising them in return a portion of the sacrifice. It was done, and the tremendous bow, being released, took off the head of Vishnu. They searched in sorrow for the head, but in vain, and in the end, Tripura Sundari, being worshipped, directed them to join the head of a horse to the body and disappeared. That was Hayagriva. Vishnu revived, and he, after killing an asura of that name, learned all the secret sciences directed from Devi. So Hayagriva is Vishnu himself. This story reminds that Devi has already shown her grace to Hayagriva. Lalita, lit, one who plays. The Padma Purana says, having passed beyond the worlds she plays, hence she is called Lalita. Above Shakti and Shiva, there exist various manifestations of Parashakti and of Sadashiva. Each has its own grades and spheres. But Mahashakti, which is the same as Parashiva, crossing all worlds, has her residence in that supreme sphere called Mahakailasha, Aparajita, etc. Her body is formed of pure and concentrated sattva without any admixture of rajas and tamas, whereas the other Shaktis merely have a preponderance of the sattva quality over the other two, rajas and tamas, and not of pure sattva. Hence, she is the highest, the prototype of Parabrahman. There are many secret manifestations of this goddess, but in this work, that particular manifestation termed Kameshwari and known as Lalita is referred to. Lalita also indicates that this deity is fond of elegant things, Shringara Rasa, the most wonderful, because such history was not heard of before, nor was it similar to any.
पूर्वं प्रादुर्भवो मातुस्ततपट्टाभिषेचनं भण्डासुरवधश्चैव विस्तरेण त्वयोदितः.
You related to me in detail first the birth of the mother, then her coronation and her slaying of Bandasura. Birth. The Shrutis say, verily this was Asat, non-being, in the beginning. In the beginning, O child, this was Sat, being only. There was at that time neither Sat nor Asat, etc. From these Shrutis, we gather that before manifestation, there existed absolute consciousness. But how the first manifestation, the germ of desire, Kama Kala Rupa, arose in it can be known from the Guru alone, or birth means one of her incarnations from the sacred sacrificial fire. Coronation, her initiation into the rulership of the whole universe.
वर्णितं श्रीपुरं चापि महाविभवविस्तरं श्रीमत्पञ्चदशाक्षर्या महिमा वर्णितस्तथा
The Sri Rupa, the Sri Pura, Shri Chakra has been minutely described to us in all its glory, as also the greatness of the 15 syllabled mantra Panchadashi. Sripura is described in Rudrayamala as existing beyond and above the innumerable world systems and as surrounded by 25 walls, each of many thousand yojanas in length. This is one description. Lord Durvasas, the prince of teachers, has also described it concisely in the Lalita Stavaratna as situated at the top of the Mount Meru and of equal magnificence. This is another description. The commentator on Vidyaratna places it in the middle of the ocean of the milk, and this is the third 15 syllabled mantra, Panchadashi. It is divided into Kadi Vidya and Hadi Vidya and may mean here either of the two. The addition of the syllable Shrim in that mantra is supported by a quotation from the Shruti, Rig Veda, 5th chapter, 47.4. That which contains four Ims and confers benefit. Some may say that this, that is the word Shri, is extremely secret and should be known by tradition alone. Other great men do not hold it, the four M's, as authoritative because it is not found anywhere in the Tantras. But others say that the above quoted Shruti, Rigveda, refers to the 16 syllabled mantra as it is said when the letter Shri is added at the end of the mantra called Kamaraja. It consists of 16 syllables and is called Sri Vidya. Others again say it means a certain mantra discovered by Hayagriva. Shri means holy in this case.
षोडान्यासादयो देव्या न्यासखण्डे प्रकीर्तिताः अन्तर्यागक्रमश्चैव बहिर्यागक्रमस्तथा
In the Nyasa Kanda, the Nyasas, Shodanyasa, have been described the method of Antaryaga as also that of Bahiryaga, external worship.
महायागक्रमश्चापि पूजाखण्डे समीरिताः पुरश्चरणखण्डे तु जपलक्षणमीरितम्
And Mahayaga, great worship, has been described in the Puja Khanda in the chapter on Purascharana. You have told us the rules of the japa. The six principal nyasas are Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, and Pitha. These are collectively called Shodanyasa, and that itself is of various kinds, namely Bhushana, Malini, etc. There are also Chakranyasa and other nyasas. Nyasa means meditating upon a particular devata as placed in a corresponding part of the body. Antaryaga is meditating on the thread of light proceeding from the Mooladhara up to the Rajadanta or the mental worship of the devata. Bahiryaga consists of the account of the rites and arrangement of the vessels up to Shantistava, a hymn on tranquility. Mahayaga, the same Bahiryaga, is performed with 8 ashtakas, All this we have dealt with in our book on Varivasya Prakasha in the Puja Prakarna. Purascharana is a performance of japa before puras, beginning to concentrate upasana on the mantra, and after the diksha vow. The method of practicing it, japa, consists of the five states: avasthas, the six shunyas, void, the seven vishwas, absorptions, and the nine chakras. We have dealt with it in detail in the first part of Varivashya Rahasya.
होमखण्डे त्वया प्रोक्तो होमद्रव्यविधिक्रमः चक्रराजस्य विद्याया श्रीदेव्या देशिकान्मनोः रहस्यखण्डे तादात्म्यं परस्परमुदीरितं स्तोत्रखण्डे बहुविधा स्फुतयः परिकीर्तिताः.
In the Homa Khanda, you have told us the things to be used in the Homa and the method of performing it, the fundamental identity between Chakra Raja, Vidya, the 15 syllable mantra, Sri Devi, Guru, and pupil has been imparted to us in the Rahasya Khanda. In the chapter on prayers, Stotra Khanda, various sets of prayers have been given. Chakra Raja includes all the chakras beginning from the Bindu, 9 in number. Vidya, either the 15 syllabled or the 16 syllable mantra, that is Panchadashi or Shodashi. Sri Devi, the goddess Tripura Sundari, identity, Tadatmya, all of them are Brahman. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verse 23 says, Om Tat and Sat are the three designations of the Brahman. Hence, all of them are with the Brahman. The method of this identification has been dealt with by us in the Varivasya Rahasya, various sets, Panchami, Stavaraja, and other prayers.
मन्त्रिणी दण्डिनी देव्यो प्रोक्ते नाम सहस्रके न तु श्रीललिता देव्या प्रोक्तं नाम सहस्रकम्.
The 1,000 names of the goddess Mantrini and Dandini have been told to me, but those of Devi Lalita have not been told to me. Mantrini, a minister, helps one in ruling a kingdom, and in the Tantras she is called Rajashyamala. Dandini helps one to control enemies or senses, and in the Tantras she is called Varahi.
तत्र मे संशयो जातो हयग्रीवदयानिधे किं वा त्वया विस्मृतं तज्ज्ञात्वा वा समुपेक्षितम्.
O Hayagriva, ocean of mercy, on this point doubt has arisen in me. Have you forgotten it or knowingly neglected it?
मम वा योग्यता नास्ति श्रोतुं नाम सहस्रकं किमर्थं भवता नोक्तं तत्र मे कारणं वद.
Or is it because that I am unworthy to hear the 1,000 names? Tell me the reason why you have omitted this. There might be four possible reasons why the 1,000 names were not imparted. First, the forgetfulness of the teacher. This is not the reason, because as Hayagriva is endowed with omniscience, he cannot forget it. Second, the indifference of the teacher. And again, this is not the reason, because in the four relationships, namely those of friend, enemy, servant, and indifferent persons, that of a pupil is included under that of a servant, and he cannot be regarded with indifference, because if so, the teacher would no longer possess the attribute of compassion. The third reason is the unworthiness of the pupil. This again cannot be the reason, for the Guru himself imparts to the pupil fitness to receive knowledge. For the Bodhisara says, the Holy Guru imparts the lotus quality to the flower, which is no lotus, that is, imparts wisdom to the student who otherwise could never obtain it, by declaring the Vedanta doctrines of discrimination and dispassion. Thus, like the Guru, the sun causes the lotus to bloom. Hence, every effort should be made to approach the Guru, who is the sun. The fourth reason is that the knowledge is secret, as stated in verse 13.
सूत उवाच इति पृष्टो हयग्रीवो मुनिना कुम्भजन्मना प्रह्नुष्टो वचनं प्राह तापसं कुम्भसम्भवम्.
Suta said, thus questioned by the holy Kumbhashambhava, pot-born one, Hayagriva, greatly delighted, addressed the ascetic Kumbhashambhava thus: the Bharata prohibits it, not questioned, to no one should it be imparted. Thus, the ordinance of the Vedas. Again, the second part of the same sanctions it. Even if not questioned, one may impart wisdom to a student if he, the Guru, is not in return repelled. This is intended for a student who has faith but is unable to question. For it is said that if one has no faith, there is a great loss to him. Baudhayana says, faithlessness is a great sin, and faith indeed is great tapas. Therefore, the gods do not partake of the oblations offered without faith. Whether he performs sacrifices or gives gifts, that fool never goes to heaven. He whose conduct is doubtful and who acts according to his own whim and against the scripture is called a fool, because he violates all the principles of the dharmas. The Shruti also says, by faith the fire is kindled, by faith the oblation is offered, etc. The meaning is, even if one questions who is without faith, to him the knowledge should not be imparted. Why then about the non questioner? If a student is unable to put questions but has full faith, in such cases, without expecting questions, Guru can impart the knowledge. But here Agastya has faith and the power to put questions. Such being the case, why did he not put me the question? Thought the holy Hayagriva, the prince of the teachers, who was much taken by the services of the student and wanted to instruct him. But fearing the injunction, not asked, not to be given, he was much pained at the delay of the student in questioning him with devotion. The instruction of 1,000 names was therefore withheld from him till he asked for it. Ascetic, Tapasa. Agastya has in him that faith which gave him the thirst for knowledge, which comes only after annihilating the sins by the performance of yaga, etc. Kumbha Sambhava means one who has long practiced kumbhaka, the third stage of pranayama, and a means to restrain the fleeting modifications of the mind. Moreover, rechaka and puraka, expiration and inspiration, may easily be practiced by all, but not so the kumbhaka. As Agastya is a worshipper of Devi, the Guru instructs him in this hymn. If one has faith and devotion, but does not worship the Vidya according to the Shastras, the Guru who imparts it to him will meet with the curse of Yogini.
श्री हयग्रीव उवाच लोपामुद्रापते गस्त्य सावधानमनः शृणु नाम्नां सहस्रं यन्नोक्तं कारणं तद्वदामि ते.
Hayagriva said, O Agastya, husband of Lopamudra, listen with concentrated mind. I shall tell you why I did not instruct you in the 1,000 names. Lopamudra, the wife of Agastya, she is known as a model wife who devoutly worships the goddess to whom her husband devotes his life. Being the husband of Lopamudra is thus a special qualification or attribute of Agastya, Devi herself says in Trishati. His wife Lopamudra worships me with devotion, and he too is extremely devoted to me, so you may instruct him. Lopamudra may also be the name of a mantra or another name of Tripura Sundari. In this case, the Sanskrit word for husband, pati, should be taken to mean worshipper.
रहस्यमिति मत्वहं नोक्तवास्तेन चान्यथा पुनश्च पृच्छते भक्त्या तस्मात् तत्ते वदाम्यहम्.
I did not tell you that because I thought it was a secret, and for no other reason, as you have now asked me with devotion, I shall impart that to you.
ब्रूयाच्चिष्याय भक्ताय रहस्यमपि देशिकः भवता न प्रदेयं स्यादभक्ताय कदाचन.
The teacher may impart even a secret to a student who is possessed of devotion, but it shall never be taught by you to one who has no bhakti, devotion. One who has no devotion to one such, even should he ask for it, it should not be taught. But to the devoted, to the man of bhakti, even without him asking for it, it may be taught.
न शठाय न दुष्टाय नाविश्वासाय कर्हिचित् श्रीमातृभक्तियुक्ताय श्रीविद्याराजवेदिने.
Never to a rogue, to a wicked man, nor at any time to one who is devoid of faith, but to one who is thoroughly devoted to the Divine Mother, to one who understands the royal sciences. The Shruti says, Science approached Brahmana and said to him, Conceal me, I am your treasure. Do not make me over to one who is envious or crooked minded, nor to a rogue. So kept virtue endures. Rogue, one who, though conscious that his eyes were opened by the teacher, is yet unwilling to own the fact and himself takes the credit for knowledge so gained, or pretends not to recognize it. Wicked man, one who tells his teacher that he is convinced of the truth and the value of teachings, but abuses him afterwards. One whose heart is not pure. Faith, the belief that the belief that what the teacher says is supreme truth. The Bhakti Tantra says the highest devotion to Ishvara, that is called Bhakti. Royal science, Vidya Raja, the Panchadashi mantra, this should be learnt from a guru.
उपासकाय शुद्धाय देयं नाम सहस्रकं यानि नाम सहस्राणि सद्यः सिद्धिप्रसादिनी. तन्त्रेषु ललिता देव्यास्तेषु मुख्यमिदं मुने श्रीविद्वैव तु मात्राणं तत्र कादिर्यथा परा.
To a worshipper, Upasaka, who is pure, you may impart the 1,000 names. The goddess Lalita has many thousands of ever powerful names in the Tantras, but this set of 1,000, O sage, is the first and the best. Sri Vidya is the first of the all mantras, and in it the Kadi, is the first and the best. Upasaka, one who performs both the regular and occasional Nitya and Naimittika rites, and in doing so practices the mental action of realizing the undividedness of Devi in all. Pure, free from dishonesty and villainy, etc. Many thousand names. Of the many millions of thousands, only 10 sets of thousand names are selected. These are indicated by the first letters of each set of 1000, namely Gam, Ga, Sya, La, Ka, Ba, La, Ra, Sa, Bha, Tantras. There are many thousands of names in the 64 Agamas, as also in the Puranas. Mantra. The difference between mantra and vidya is that the former has reference to male deities and the latter to female ones. To show the identity of Shiva with Shakti, the word vidya is here used along with the word mantra. Hence, permission is given to meditate thus on Devi. It is said, one may meditate one may meditate upon Devi as male or female, or as existence, knowledge, and bliss, Sat Chit Ananda, without attributes. The Mala mantra also refers to names in both genders. Hence, we find in this set of thousand names words of all genders as Gunanidhi, masculine, Srimata, feminine, Param Jyoti, neutral. Or the word mantranam is used in the plural to show that though composed of three groups, kutas, it, the Panchadashi mantra, is formed of 15 letters. Mantras are of five kinds, namely Pinda, Kartari, Bija, Mantra, and Mala. Nitya Tantra says a monosyllable mantra is named Pinda, a two-syllable one Kartari, a mantra having 3 to 9 syllables, is called Bija. One with 10 to 20 syllables is known as mantra. Without any further distinction, here in the text, the 15-syllable mantra is rightly called a mantra. Hence, the use of the word Kadi, that which has the syllable Ka at the beginning, or it may refer to Shakti mentioned in Tantra Raja as Kali. In that work, Shiva says to Devi, the syllable Ka is in thy form, and that Shakti confers all miraculous powers, siddhis. The Shruti says, the mantra of the ancient Vidya, the mother of the universe, is composed of the letters indicated by the following words Kama, Yoni, Kamala, Vajrapani, Guha, Hasa, Matarishwan, Abhra, Indra, Guha, Sakala, and Maya. According to the rule Sarva Vedanta Pratyaya, although all the Vidyas arising out of the Vedas are one and the same, still they differ according to the intellectual capacities of the devotees, Upasakas. The Kari Vidya is said to be the best, Para, because in the other Vidyas all the 37 letters indicating the 36 tattvas and the one Brahman above them all are not consistent. These points are dealt with by us in the Varivasya Rahasya. It is said in that work, the pure Vidya, Kadi, is that whose body is indicated by the vowels and consonants, the three bindus, the three nadas, and which is in the form of the 36 tattvas and the one that transcends them. Moreover, The following secret meaning and many other similar things, which must be obtained from a guru, are not consistent with the hardy Vidya. Even when one syllable of her mantra, which consists of a number of syllables, is well obtained by a person, he is envied by Ravi, Garuda, Indu, Kandarpa, Samkara, Anala, and Vishnu. The 11th syllable, Ekara, of her mantra, which is shaped like a triangle, is even now seen as the support and the seed of the universe from the mundane egg to the infinite space. Some say that the Shruti, which says it consists of four M's and confers benefit, is consistent only with the Kadi Vidya, but the secret meaning is that it, the meaning of the Shruti, applies equally well to the Hadi Vidya. Again, the Tripuratapani says, now we shall describe the most secret part of that Vidya. Then it proceeds to prove the identity of the Gayatri with the Panchadashi mantra and states that the word Tat, the first word of Gayatri, is synonymous with Ka, the first word of Panchadashi, and so the identity of the other words is explained. In Trishati too, we find the same respect shown to it. Kadi Vidya by Kameshwara and his consort. But in Tantra Raja, the third of the three groups, Kutas, of this mantra, is read first, and in this there is one additional syllable, which is not in the others. This might have been added for the sake of the facility of the utterance. This means Hadividya only. This was promulgated after Kadi Vidya, as above Upanishad tells us. The shlokas in Saundarya Lahari may be explained as belonging to either Kadi or Hadi.
पुराणं श्रीपुरमिव शक्तीनां ललिता यथा श्रीविद्योपासकानां च यथा देवो परः शिवः.
Just as Sripura is the best among cities, so is Lalita among the Shaktis, and the Supreme Shiva among the devotees of Sri Vidya. Shiva, the highest result of meditation, upasana, is the identity, non distinction, with the thing meditated upon. This identity exists always in Paramashiva. How otherwise can he, Shiva, be the first of Gurus, Adinatha? For how is that realization of identity attained by us and others? The secret of the established doctrine is that the student attains realization of unity with Devi through the Guru alone, by identifying himself with the Guru, who has attained identity with Devi by the stability of his power of realizing that identity. Supreme Shiva. This excludes Rudra and other gods with qualities.
तथा नाम सहस्रेषु वरमेतत् प्रकीर्तितं यथास्य पठनात् देवी प्रीयते ललिताम्बिका. अन्यनामसहस्रस्य पाठान्न प्रीयते तथा श्रीमातुः प्रीतये तस्मादनिशं कीर्तयेदिदम्.
So, among the various thousands, this is the most excellent. Devi Lalitamba is not so much pleased with the recitation of any other set of thousand names as with this. Therefore, to gain the Divine Mother's favor, one should repeat this continuously. Recitation, uttering vocally and mentally, continually. It means that this repetition is to be continued daily, like the performance of Agnihotra, compulsorily and obligatorily.
बिल्वपत्रैश्चक्रराजे योर्चयेल्ललिताम्बिकां पद्मैर्वा तुलसीपुष्पैरेभिर्नाम सहस्रकैः.
With him who worships Mother Lalita, placing her in the Chakraraja, Shri Chakra, offering bilva leaves, lotuses, and tulasis, reciting the 1,000 names.
सद्यप्रसादं कुरते तस्य सिंहासनेश्वरी चक्राधिराजमभ्यर्च्य जप्त्वा पञ्चदशाक्षरीम्
With him, the ruler on the lion throne, Simhasana, at once becomes pleased. When he has worshipped the Chakra Raja, he should recite the 15-syllable mantra.
जपान्ते कीर्तयेन्नित्यमिदं नाम सहस्रकं जपपूजाद्यशक्तश्चेत् पठेन्नाम सहस्रकम्
And at the end of the japa, repeat these 1,000 names. If he is unable to perform the japa, puja, etc., he should read these 1,000 names.
साङ्गार्चने साङ्गजपे यत्फलं तदवाप्नुयात् उपासने स्तुतिरन्या पठेदभ्युदयो हि सः
He will thus obtain as much merit as if he performed the worship and the japa in detail. In worshipping her, he may repeat other hymns, stotras also, for they confer merit on him. In detail, Sangha puja consists of the rites beginning with Avarana puja and ending with the worship of the chief deity. The repetition of mantra with Kulluka, Setu, and Mahasetu, the different kinds of pronunciation of the syllable Om and Nyasa, etc. Other hymns. There are many hymns such as Trailokya Mohana Kavaka, etc.
इदं नाम सहस्रं तु कीर्तयेन्नित्यकर्मवत् चक्रराजार्चनं देव्या जपो नाम्नां च कीर्तिनम्
He should repeat these 1,000 names as a daily duty. The worship of the Shri Chakra, the japa, and the recitation of the 1,000 names of Devi.
भक्तस्य कृत्यमेतावदन्यदभ्युदयं विदुः भक्तस्यावश्यकमिदं नाम साहस्रकीर्तिनम्
Should be performed strictly by a devotee. The rest is said to be performed for the sake of prosperity, but the repetition of the 1,000 names is imperative to a devotee, bhakta.
तत्र हेतुं प्रवक्ष्यामि शृणु त्वं कुम्भसम्भवा पुरा श्रीललिता देवी भक्तानां हितकाम्यया
I will tell you the reason of it. Listen, O Kumbhasambhava. Once, Devi Lalita, intending to do good to her devotees,
वाग्देवी वशिनी मुख्या समाहूयेदमब्रवीत् वाग्देवता वशिन्याद्य शृणुध्वं वचनं मम
called the goddesses headed by Vashini, the goddess of speech, and others, and addressed them thus. Devi said, O ye goddesses, Vagdevi, Vashini, and others, mark my words. Vashini and others. The 7 goddesses from Kameshwari to Kalini.
भवत्यो मत्प्रसादेन प्रोल्लसद्वाग्विभूतयः मद्भक्तानां वाग्विभूतिप्रदाने विनियोजिताः
Your splendid power of speech is derived from my grace. You were deputed by me to confer the power of speech on my devotees. There are many other Shaktis, goddesses, Nakuli, and others whose power of speech is also derived from the grace of Devi, but they are deputed to the work of stopping the speech and other actions of those who quarrel with the devotees of Lalita. Hence the statement Vashini and others.
मच्चक्रस्य रहस्यज्ञा मम नाम परायणाः मम स्तोत्रविधानाय तस्मादाज्ञापयामि वः
You know the secret of my chakra, and you are wholly devoted to my names. So I command you to compose hymns to me. The secret of my chakra. There are many prayers like the present one, composed by Vashini and others. Then why this one? Because in the other hymns, the secret of the chakra is not revealed. Chakra is the space from the center Bindu, to the outer lines, Bhupura. This is the Vasana, body of Devi, or Chakra means the endless aggregate of the varied powers, Shaktis, belonging to the states of consciousness, Turiya. This Turiya state is the complete ideal of I, Purnahambhava, suddenly arisen like a flash of light, as a modification of one's own consciousness, shining in itself, samvit, otherwise called vimarsha or manifested. The mental meditation upon these powers, Shaktis, can only be learned from a guru. Hence it is called a secret. When one attains the above state, he draws everything except himself into himself. The Shiva Sutras says, when one meditates on the Shakti Chakra, the universe is drawn into him, and the Guru is the means. Wholly devoted. The commentator here questions, as there are already many Upanishads, namely Aruna, Guhyaka, Tripura, and others, which treat of the Shri Chakra, what is the use of composing a new hymn? The answer is that the names given in this Sahasranamam not only contain the ordinary meaning of each name, but they are arranged in such a manner as to include many other meanings, such as those of chakra, mantra, etc. For this reason, Devi entrusted this composition to Vashini and others.
कुरुध्वमङ्कितं स्तोत्रं मम नाम सहस्रकं येन भक्तैस्तुताया मे सद्यः प्रीतिपरा भवेत्.
Compose a prayer adorned with my 1,000 names, so that thus praised by the devotees, I may at once become extremely delighted. Adorned or marked Ankita, the special name. Lalita should be used at the end of the book and at the end of the 1,000 names in order to avoid other names such as Bhavani, etc., which belong to the consorts of the qualified Rudra and other deities.
श्री हयग्रीव उवाच इत्याज्ञप्तास्ततो देव्य श्रीदेव्या ललिताम्बया रहस्यैर्नामभिर्दिव्यश्चक्रुस्तोत्रमनुत्तमम्.
Hayagriva said, thus ordered by the words of the Divine Mother, Lalita, the goddesses composed this excellent prayer of the secret names of Devi. Secret, because these 1,000 names contain the secret of chakra and of mantra.
रहस्यं नाम साहस्रमिति तद्विश्रुतं परं ततः कदाचित् सदसि स्थित्वा सिंहासनेऽम्बिका.
Hence, it is well known as the 1,000 secret names, Rahasya Nama Sahasra. Once upon a time, the mother sitting on her lion throne.
स्वसेवावसरं प्रादात् सर्वेषां कुम्भसम्भवा सेवार्थमागतास्तत्र ब्रह्माणि ब्रह्मकोटयः.
Gave audience to all, O Kumbhashambhava, and to worship her there came crores of Brahmas and Brahmanis. Brahma plus Ana. Brahma means Vedas and Ana to repeat. That is, the repeater of the four Vedas by his four mouths. And his consort is named Brahmani. The Swachanda Shastra says concerning the word Brahmani is another Shakti dwelling on the lap of Brahma, or she gives life, Ana, to Brahma. In the Rudrayamala, it is said that she is attended by crores of Brahmanis with Brahmas.
लक्ष्मीनारायणानां च कोटयः समुपागताः गौरीकोटिसमेतानां रुद्राणामपि कोटयः.
Also, there came crores of Narayanas with Lakshmis, crores of Rudras with crores of Gauris, crores of Narayanas. There are endless universes, Brahmandas, like ours, all coexisting, and each having a Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, and for its creation, preservation, and destruction. All these were assembled at the same time. This shows that Devi is ruler of all the universes, Brahmandas.
मन्त्रिणी दण्डिनी मुख्य सेवार्थं यः समागताः शक्तया विविधाकारास्तासां संख्या न विद्यते.
The different Shaktis such as Mantrini and Dandini who came to her reverence were innumerable. The different Shaktis. The Rudraya Mala and the other books mention Parashakti, Adi Shakti, Icha, Jnana, Kriya, Bala, Bala, Annapurna, Bagala, Tara, Vagwadini, Para, Gayatri, Savitri, Siddhalakshmi, Swayamvara, Nakuli, Turagarudha, Kurukulla, Renuka, Sampatkari, Samrajya Lakshmi, Padmavati, Shiva, Durga, Bhadrakriti, Kali, Kalaratri, Shubhadrika, Chinnamasta, Bhadrakali, Kalakhandi, and Saraswati, and many others, innumerable, because there are so many Shaktis included under the name of a Shakti.
दिव्यौघा मानवौघश्च सिद्धौघाश्च समागताः तत्र श्रीललिता देवी सर्वेषां दर्शनं ददौ.
There were also a multitude of devas, and a multitude of men, and a multitude of siddhas, and Devi Lalita allowed herself to be seen by them all. A multitude of devas, Divyauga, the holy Brahmarshis, Vishwamitra, etc., the Siddhas and Shanaka, Narada, and other yogins. The Rudrayamala says Devi was attended by many crores of rulers of quarters, by many crores of moons, suns, and vasus, by many crores of yogins such as Shanaka, and by many saptarshis, and by many Naradas. Or the word Ogha, multitude of devas, men, and siddhas, may mean the different assemblies of gurus. But there are seven gurus of gurus, Paramagurus, headed by Paraprakashanandanatha, eight Parapara gurus, headed by Gagananandanatha, and four Apara gurus, headed by Bhoganandanatha. These three assemblies of gurus are indicated by the words Devas, men, and Siddhas, respectively. The above explanation follows the view of followers of Kamaraja, but according to the school of Lopamudra and according to divisions of Vidyas as described in the Jnana Narnava, etc., there are many groups of gurus headed respectively by Mishra Nandanatha and others. The gradations among the gurus can only be learned through the instructions of a guru, by them all. Sarva. Sarva is the eighth numeral form of the Parardha, which is the 18th numeral.
तेषु दृष्टोपविष्टेषु स्वे स्वे स्थाने यथाक्रमं ततः श्रीललिता देवी कटाक्षाक्षेपचोदिता.
When these had worshipped her, they took their respective seats, then directed by the glance of Sri Devi Lalita. Respective seats, the Vishwakarma Shastra says, on the right of the king should sit his sons, on the left his eight ministers, and so on.
उद्धाय वशिनी मुख्या बद्धाञ्जलिपुटास्तदा अस्तु वन्नाम साहस्रैः स्वकृतैर्ललिताम्बिकाम्.
Vashini and others, rising from their seats with folded hands, praised the mother Lalita, singing the 1,000 names composed by themselves.
श्रुत्वा स्तवं प्रसन्ना भूल्ललिता परमेश्वरी ते सर्वे विस्मयं जग्मुर्ये तत्र सदसि स्थिताः.
The great ruler Lalita became glad on hearing this hymn, Stava, and all those that were assembled there amazed. In other lists of 1,000 names, example Vishnu Sahasranamam, the book consisting the 1,000 names of Vishnu, and others, we find the use of many meaningless particles such as Eva, Cha, etc. In some places, many names are repeated 2, 3, or 4 times. Though the venerable commentators of these names have given different meanings to those repeated names, still the fault of repetition is plain enough. But this set of 1,000 names has no such faults. Each name consists of the secret of the chakras, of the mantras, and has many secret meanings besides the ordinary one. Though these secret meanings can only be learned from a teacher, yet we shall give some of them in order to gladden the hearts of the wise.
ततः प्रोवाच ललिता सदस्यान् देवतागणान् ममाज्ञयैव वाग्देव्यश्चक्रुस्तोत्रमनुत्तमम्.
Then Lalita addressed the assembly of the gods and said, "The goddesses of speech composed this incomparable hymn at my command.
अङ्कितं नाम पृथिव्यैर्मम प्रीतिविधायकैः तत्पठत्वं सदा यूयं स्तोत्रमत्प्रीतिवृद्धये.
It is adorned, marked with many of my divine names, which are pleasing to me. Therefore, recite always this prayer, and thus increase my gladness."
प्रवर्तयध्वं भक्तेषु मम नाम सहस्रकम्. इदं नाम सहस्रकं मे यो भक्तः पठते सकृत्.
Declare these 1,000 names to my devotees. These 1,000 names of mine, if a devotee recites even once, devotee, one who has been initiated into Sri Vidya.
समे प्रियतमो ज्ञेयस्तस्मै कामान् ददाम्यहम्. श्रीचक्रे मां समभ्यर्च्य जप्त्वा पञ्चदशाक्षरीम्.
He should be known as most dear to me, and I grant him all that he desires, having worshipped me in the Shri Chakra and having recited Panchadashakshari.
पश्चान्नाम सहस्रं मे कीर्तयेन्मम तुष्टये. मामर्चयतु वा मा वा विद्यं जपतु वा न वा.
One should repeat these 1,000 names to please me, whether he worships me in Shri Chakra or not, whether he performs the japa of Panchadashi or not.
कीर्तयेन्नाम साहस्रमिदं मत्प्रीतये सदा. मत्प्रीत्या सकलान् कामान् लभते नात्र संशयः.
If he only always recites these 1,000 names to please me, without doubt, he will obtain all his desires, by my grace.
तस्मान्नाम सहस्रं मे कीर्तयध्वं सदादरात्. इति श्रीललितेशानि शास्ति देवान् सहानुगान्.
Therefore, always recite these my 1,000 names with reverence. Hayagriva said, thus the ruler Lalita commands the Devas and their followers. Commands. The present tense is used to show that the wish, Icha of Devi, which is also termed Shasana, ordinance, and Agnya, command, is eternal.
तदाज्ञया तदारभ्य ब्रह्म विष्णु महेश्वराः शक्तयो मन्त्रिणी मुख्या इदं नाम सहस्रकम्.
From that time, at her command, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, and Shaktis, namely Mantrini and others,
पठन्ति भक्त्या सततं ललिता परितुष्टये. तस्मादवश्यं भक्तेन कीर्तनीयमिदं मुने.
even recite with devotion these 1,000 names to gain the grace of Lalita. Therefore, O sage, the devotees must indeed recite this.
आवश्यकत्वे हेतुस्ते मया प्रोक्तो मुनीश्वर. इदानीं नाम साहस्रं वक्ष्यामि श्रद्धया शृणु. इति श्रीब्रह्माण्डपुराणे श्रीहयग्रीवागस्त्य संवादे Sri Lalitha Sahasranama स्तोत्र पूर्वभागो नाम प्रथमोऽध्यायः
O Lord of sages, I have already told you why this recitation is necessary. Listen, then with devotion while I repeat the 1,000 names. Thus ends the first and the introductory chapter of Lalita Sahasranamam, an Uttarakhanda of the Brahmananda Purana in the dialogue between Hayagriva and Agastya.